being involved in sport Mondioring specifically there is so much cross-pollination between everything else that I do. For me, Mondioring is the closest sport to real police work. Like, they have very, very similar requirements. They have a real area search, sin discrimination. Also, if you think about a Mondioring dog, if you can teach a Mondioring dog to do XYZ, we'll get into that, you have service dog tasks, right? The retrieve, for example. If you can do a Mondioring retrieve, you can do a service dog retrieve. And then with the generalization that sport requires and the troubleshooting, to be able to take that and apply it to pet training has been incredibly helpful. The sport has just made me a well-rounded trainer, not just a sport trainer.
Hey, everybody, and welcome. So I'm Lianne Shinton from Automation Dogs. We run a CRM software for dog trainers to help them sell more dog training, be better at getting back to their leads through using automation. My podcast, though, is about a lot of things, but it's more about the business side of running a dog training business and helping our clients and helping our businesses. But today, I'm so excited because we're going to shift a little bit. We're still going to focus on talking about helping your business, but we're going to talk about dog training a bit, which I love because we're going to talk a little bit about Mondioring, which is sort of my one favorite sport. And joining us today is Travis Lloyd. Hi, Travis.
Hi.
Hi, from Ridgeside Canine. 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙤.
Ashtabula. Yep.
Okay, I was so close.
You were very close.
I was so close. Okay. Now, I had Travis on my podcast recently because we were talking about the Professional Canine Development Conference that was just held in Ohio that Sam Given put on and Professional Canine put on. And in that podcast, Travis said something, maybe it was after, we were talking after. And oh man, you said something like the correlation, like what we learned in Mondioring and how it helps us train pet dogs, right?
Yep. Like, being involved in sport Mondioring specifically there is so much cross-pollination between everything else that I do. For me, Mondioring is the closest sport to real police work. Like, they have very, very similar requirements. They have a real area search, sin discrimination. Also, if you think about a Mondioring dog, if you can teach a Mondioring dog to do XYZ, we'll get into that, you have service dog tasks, right? The retrieve, for example. If you can do a Mondioring retrieve, you can do a service dog retrieve. And then with the generalization that sport requires, and the troubleshooting, to be able to take that and apply it to pet training has been incredibly helpful. The sport has just made me a well-rounded trainer, not just a sport trainer.
Awesome. I think for me too, the coaches, the mentors in the Mondioring world that I was lucky enough to surround myself with are amazing. And I'm always wanting to learn more and evolve and be around people that are better than me. And oh man, Mondioring, there's some big talent there.
Huge.
Yeah.
I would say some of the most talented trainers. I think it's the most difficult sport. It's a trainer sport.
Yeah. Most of the people that were in my club and that I saw, they were trainers. Like, you got to be all in, and just to have that mindset of, I'm just doing this for fun. Like, when you go from level 1 to level 2, it's so much more extreme than going, I found, from level 2 to level 3. So level 1, just kind of like getting a BH, it's so different once you get to that level too.
So, just for everybody that's listening, a BH is like an entrance exam into a sport called 𝙬𝙤𝙤𝙤. It's like a
Mhm.
temperament test, essentially. So they have those types of things in most sports where PSA, they have something called a PDC. That's the entry level to get into that. In French ring and Mondioring, we have a brevet, which is the equivalent of our BH or PDC. And then, if you were going to get into AKC sports and obedience, things like that, I'd say it's like equivalent to like a CGC for that. So for anybody who's listening and doesn't understand the lingo, that's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Travis.
Yeah.
Um, so I was thinking maybe we could share on and kind of talk about some of the things that we use actionably in Mondioring and how they do directly correlate to service dog or pet dog training, police dog work, like some of the specifics, just because I think it's amazing the things that I learned. And I've been training dogs for like 33 years. And when I found Mondioring, it was more recently. Like Flirt just turned 10 the other day, and she is my Mondioring dog. So I've only been doing the Mondio thing for, the last 10 years, but it changed my entire way of training freaking dogs. And I got so excited about it too. It was really like refreshing.
Hmm. Yeah. I come home from, I do lessons with Todd like twice a week, private lessons with him outside of club days. And it's for my sport dog, but every time I come home from my lesson, especially the way he coaches, he likes to ask you a lot of questions, right? Well, why did the dog do that? Why do you think that happened? Every time I come home from a lesson with him, I bring something home to pet training. This
Yep.
morning we were just talking about, I have this aggressive Chihuahua here. Like this dog it's the most aggressive dog that this vet clinic country doctor sees. Like this dog's terrible. So today I was telling our trainers, we were talking about an extinction burst, right? And this is something that I've learned through sport. So what an extinction burst is a behavior that we're trying to build so strong that it is almost impossible to break. So, for example, if you see a PSA dog healing in the level threes and there is total chaos going around them, that is the dog is doing that because of a reinforcement schedule that built an extinction burst. Like it is so hard to break that dog out of the heel because of the
Hmm.
way it's been trained and reinforced in that behavior. Um, an extinction burst, the way I can explain it for humans is we've all done this. We're in probably the same generation, like grew up in the same era. So with a credit card, like if you ran your credit card and it didn't work, you'd be like, run it again. And then you'd run it again. Oh, it didn't work. Run it again. All right, blow it off, wipe it off, run it again. Put a plastic bag on it, run it again. Type the number in. Even after that, it still doesn't work. Well, now I'm going to call the bank, right? And then they have to reissue me one. I'm not going to say, well, hey, that's it. I'm never going to use a credit card again. Like we've probably, I don't know how many times that's happened throughout my life, but that's what an extinction burst is. And I think it's something that everybody can understand if you put it that way. Well, going back to this pet, we're talking about an extinction burst. And I'm saying, like, okay, look how he's improving. Look how he's improving. We're letting him in the crate, out of the crate, in the crate, out of the crate. Well, the thing is, like, the extinction burst can go the other way as well, right? If the dog has had a self rewarding behavior, it's still being reinforced, even though you haven't reinforced a heel or a sit that you're trying to create an extinction burst for. This dog has created its own extinction burst where we're gaining this progress in this kennel going in and out with the reactivity, but it's happened for so long, boom, it'll just flare up. That extinction burst will come back and come back. And that's where you have to go into counter conditioning. And that's a that's a very nerdy explanation of sport correlating to training, but that's exactly what we talked about just this morning. Um, and I'll nerd out and kind of like explain stuff like that to the people I work with just because I love that.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can nerd out today because I would love to talk about like things. I've got a few written down here that were very impactful for me. And I started implementing hardcore in my pet dog training, really leaned into it. But if you can nerd out on, these things that I can share on, that would probably be amazing if you see them kind of the same way I do,
Yeah,
of
for
course.
sure.
One is, gosh, when I learned about transporting a dog from an exercise, the retrieve, to the Littlewood exercise, I had to get that dog to like calm down. We're going to the next exercise. And teaching just a basic walk next to me, not a fancy, prancy competition heel that she can only do for like 5 minutes. I mean, just a calm walk next to me, reset, because we're going to go to the next exercise. And I wanted to talk about that calm leash walking because when I was taught, it was always like, keep the dog looking happy, keep him focused. And I really think that having calm leash walking is more important to pet dog owners than, a dog that's like super focused. What's your take on that?
Oh man, this is such a good one. I can say so much about this. So that's really good. So for pet dogs, right, we're trying to do the opposite with sport dogs, right? We want them prancy when we're telling them, hey, we're doing our healing. Like this is our healing part of the routine. So in Mondioring, we go from one routine to another, healing, jumps, bite, retrieve, whatever. Well, we build engagement strategies, right? So how we build our engagement is we're telling the dog, hey, when we say this, you engage with us for a certain amount of time. So we're like, ready, you engage with us. When the engagement's over, we need that dog to cap and move to the next thing. We don't want
Hmm.
engagement from healing to the little woods, right? I just want you to like stay near me and cap some of that drive. Well, there's an art to that in Mondioring, and we can go all into that, at least how I've learned it from Todd. But with the pets specifically, there are there's sport trainers that may not understand that. There's pet trainers that may not understand that. When I first was trying to merge the two worlds, I would do the same thing. I would come in here and I'm like, every dog has to do a Schutzen type of heel. And I'm like
Yeah.
focused on position and energy and enthusiasm, where that can be toxic for a pet owner, right? They don't need their dog in that heightened drive state. You have to learn how to cap drive, and that's something that you learn through sport as well. So there's things in Mondio Ring where we have exercises where we want the dogs to be flatter, and when I say flat,
Yes.
I'm tending to mean like their energy level or maybe the dopamine production in their brain is just kind of leveled out instead of spiking. Um, so there's exercises like our change of positions. We don't want the dogs vibrating and buzzed up in anticipation of what's to come next. We want a more stable dog versus in a heel. Yeah, maybe we want that dog to be very prancy, or in their jump, we want that energy level there. Um, so there's a there's a time and a place to create that, and especially with pet dogs, you can get you can go too far in either direction. So for a pet dog that is flat already,
Mm.
I can take the same stuff that I learned in Mondio Ring and I know how to bring that dog's emotional state up. So if there's a dog that's like asleep, it's not very motivated, it's not very energetic, that is a dog that I would apply some more engagement, some spins, some chase games, right? And try to bring them up and get enthusiastic about what we're doing. Where most pets, people don't usually come to us with those dogs. They usually come to us with the dog that's jumping and pulling and already has this
Mhm.
high level of energy, where that's what we want in sport. But if you know how to do that in Mondioring, you should know how to do the opposite with the pet. You just do the opposite thing. So for the pet, I would probably do some like negative reinforcement training where it was much slower and stiller and calmer and flatter. Like my rewards wouldn't be as exciting. With pets, I just do a lot of chill, right? People don't really want uh, they want their pets to be calm, chill, be able to take them places. So I really
Exactly.
try to just slow the pets down. Um, with, like I said, like negative reinforcement, I do much slower things. Good, calm walking. I really don't try to do a lot of play, like in our obedience.
Yep.
Like, if that makes sense. It's not that I don't play with dogs that I train, I do, but I'm not gonna, play with the prey drive pity with a ball when I'm teaching him to heel, because that would be the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach
Okay.
this dog to be calm, right? Not, hey, I'm in a heel, I'm in a heel. When's the ball gonna come? When is the chase game gonna come? I don't want the dog to think that that's what's gonna happen.
Duration too. You can practice a calm exercise, like just walk next to me in a calm way for a long period of time to where the dog just, oh, this is so boring. It's like, exactly. That's what I was going for. Versus if you're playing ball with a dog or doing a fancy prancy heel or something like that, you have to keep shorter duration so you can keep the mindset very activated for that shorter duration. But something like a long walk, like just boring. Yep, that's it. You got it now.
Exactly. Yes, very good point. Yeah. Like in sport dogs, it's very, very incremental training. Like my dog that I'm
Mhm.
training to heel now, like, I mean, our healing training is like maybe a minute,
Yep.
maybe 1 minute of teaching this dog to heel. And then it's very excited where, like this pet that I'm going to pull out this morning, we're probably going to heel for like 20 minutes, just walking around the training center, just like you said, until they're basically not, I don't want to say bored, but it's not very exciting.
Mhm.
It's just like, hey, just stay next to me and we'll go walk.
I think we've been talking too with the word heal. What I just wanted to clarify, like for me, when I ask Flirt, we're gonna do some healing, that's her fancy prancy word. But if I just want her to walk next to me, I use a different word. That's important. Obviously, we're not going to use the same word, but it's the same, similar behavior. They're dogs sort of in the same position, but it's a totally different mindset. I use a different word. And I know some trainers will actually teach the calm one on the right side or the fancy one on the right side and the calm one on the left side, just to really maybe be as clear as possible to the dog. Like, this is a calm one.
Mhm. Do you know who Tommy Verschron is?
Absolutely. Great
So,
decoy.
oh my God, I love Tommy so much. Like
Yeah.
his dog, so his dog will go from focused heel to flat walk heel to contact heel. And he can channel through all three of them in different commands. And you can see the drive state literally changing and the dog's position changes. Where like my focus heel and my contact heel look very the same because they just kind of went together. So like even when I tell my dog focus heel, he's like pushing me so hard to the right because of the contact heel, which you see
Yeah.
a lot in Mondioring actually.
Yeah.
But I'm so like this puppy that I'm raising, I really want to emulate Tommy's dog. I
Yeah.
love the way that guy trains.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just brought in another, heel exercise, the contact heel, for the defensive handler, I assume you're talking about
Mhm,
there. And, yeah, yeah, that's where I have a bit of trauma. My dog has put me in the hospital because she's fast and she bites fast, and so I've been bit a couple times, and at the world level, I was in Poland, and she left me in the contact heel, the defense of handler, and I can't tell you how relieved I was. I knew that I was going to lose. I was actually, though, I had so much PTSD from her. I'm gonna get a face bite. I'm gonna get a face bite, that I was like, I just didn't have the guts.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
she's a crazy, crazy girl.
Well,
So
so I started doing the contact heel with my puppy, right? I've been doing it a little bit differently. I just bought Nino's course actually, um, just because I like a lot of his obedience and I want to know some of his tricks. Not that obviously I'm gonna omit a lot of that stuff from the Mondioring program too, but so I've been messing with the contact heel a little bit differently, and I go to my lesson and I'm telling Todd, I'm like, yeah, so I'm working on the contact heel, and he's like, for what? And I said, well, for the defense, and he's like, you don't need it. And so I came home and I'm talking to Kayla about it too. I'm like, hey, Kayla, Todd said I don't need the contact heel, and she's like, why not? And I was like, he said I don't need it. He didn't teach it to his dog. I don't need it for the defense. So yeah, I'm contemplating on scrapping it just because with this dog, I'm going to be very by the book. Like, I'm not deviating. If Todd's
mhm,
telling me to do it,
yep,
I'm not going to deviate from it. Like, I want to get where I'm going, and like, I know this is the fastest route. I've tried to
yeah,
do I've tried to take lessons and say, okay, well, I'm going to take that in, but I'm going to go home and kind of put my spices in there too, and like do it how I've been taught to do it, or I think that this is going to be better, right? I've also washed 3 dogs now, and like I have a good one, and I'm not deviating from the program. I'm just
yeah.
not. I'm taking it very seriously. Right, wrong, good, bad, indifferent. I don't care. Like, I'm staying the course. Whatever Todd is telling me to do, I'm doing it with my dog.
Smart, smart,
I'm
because
like,
he's one of the goats, the greatest of all time. He is one of the
yes.
goats. When I was in Poland, he was there. I was the chair of the international committee for the Mondioring, USMRA, and he was qualified. We qualified him for the level 3, and then Boss, he had an injury, and it sucked. So, yeah, I've seen him compete at the national level, but I didn't get to see him play at the world level when I was there, sadly.
So back to kind of just speaking about Todd. So we're talking about like our recall, our um, recall, retrieve, and healing, right? So with this dog, what I'm doing is everything is going to be return to heal, right? So you retrieve, you return to heal, you return to heal. I whistle you, you return to heal. So like I'm expenditure of energy, right? Like, so now my dog doesn't have to learn 3 other things,
Hmm.
right? So now my dog just finds heal, just find
Yeah.
heal, always find heal. Now, we know there's always pros and cons, pitfalls to everything. So I have like showed some foundational stuff in case I need to change it. But going back to pet training, skip steps, man. Work smarter, not harder, right? Like, just that one thing. Like, it's so simple. It's a very simple concept for like most trainers to understand. You'd be like, oh, I only train one thing. I don't have to train a center, a sit front, like I just train a heel, right? The dog just knows come back to heel position.
Default.
So
Yep.
super smart. Like, I would have never put it together. I'm going to do whistle between my legs. I'm going to do a sit front, and I'm going to have a heel position. With this dog, I'm teaching everything back to heel.
I love the keep it simple. Keep it simple. Um, that also brings me to something that I don't know if everybody will love, but in pet dog training, I got rid of the auto sit. In
In healing,
Yeah,
me too.
because um I can work more on my fast slows, my left turns, my right turns. I have more time for that, and I'm not farting around worried about if the dog sits or not. And the clients don't give a crap. They're like, I don't care if he sits. And I'm like, I've heard that enough to know that they don't care if he sits. They can ask him to sit, but they don't need to have it as an auto sit.
Right. There's no, so like, why add that to your criteria for a pet
Hmm.
dog heel?
Don't
Why?
need it.
It's
Never
just,
need it.
yeah, it's another step that you have to train. It's another, it's, you have to hold the dog accountable to it now.
Hmm.
You have to teach the owners that they have to hold the dog accountable for it too. And then when you go home, when the dog goes home, they're not going to hold it accountable. So guess what? We've been correcting this dog because we've set clear criteria and we're being fair and we're being honest to the dog and not lying to him. So when they're passing and not going to the sit for 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going, no, sit, heel, sit, right, for 3 or 4 weeks. And then they go home and none of the pet owners are doing that. And and then I was like, man, that kind of hurts my heart a little bit. Like I didn't have to punish a dog for
I
something they're
know.
never going to do after this 3 weeks. Totally scrapped it. I don't care if they sit, they down,
Hmm.
just don't run off in front of me. Just stay next to my side. Easy.
Easy, easy. And it's what the clients want. And they can ask them to sit if they want to. But if I'm going to use sit, it's few and far between. Like I might use it because I have maybe multiple dogs I want to give a treat to. Everybody
Hmm.
sit, and I don't want mass chaos. Here's your treat. Here's your treat. Or I might use sit if they get out of the vehicle, sit while I'm getting my stuff together. So I know they're not like moving around and getting hit by traffic. Or, eh, I think that's it. That's literally all I would ever use it for me.
Right. Um, so I was just saying about criteria, right? That's something you learn in sport. Criteria. How important is it, right? To
Mhm,
understand it and then take it back to the pet world. It's important because we don't want to lie to these dogs, right? How does a dog interpret trust? I would say reliability, right? You have to be reliable in order for a dog to trust you. If you say yes, you have to reward it. If you say no, you have to correct it. Black and white, always, right? Um, you have to establish clear criteria for the dog, and that can't waver, right? And that's what we learn in sport. Well, you will hear it all the time at training. Well, what's your criteria for the down? I'm doing an absence. Watch my dog. Well, what's your criteria? Where are they at? What is it? Because some people accept a hip roll,
mhm,
right? That's fine. That's part of their criteria. For me, my dog has to stay in a sphinx position. I don't accept a hip roll. Maybe that
mhm,
might hurt me, and for points, some people say it will, but that's my criteria for my dog. I want that aesthetic. I want him to stay in a sphinx position. Like it's very clear criteria. My dog knows like couche means sphinx position, right? So just understanding how to establish criteria, even though it's for a pet, even though it's simplified, right? Criteria has to be clear. And
mhm.
then you have the ability to explain that to your owners, right? And put it into pet terms. So I talk about criteria with my owners all the time. Let's go to healing, right? Well, what does heal mean? Right? Here, my criteria is very simple. The dog's right shoulder is attached to my left leg. That's the criteria. No matter where that left leg goes, that right shoulder is in tandem with it. Right? And it's very loose, like it's not a contact heel, but there's a
Right.
line, like right shoulder, left knee. That's it. That's all it means. And once I explain that to people, hey, that's your criteria. Watch your dog when you stop. Watch your dog. If he takes a step forward, he's out of that is not the criteria. That's not the standard you've set. Like give him a little correction, give him some guidance on the leash. Don't move those feet forward. And teaching him the importance of criteria. Okay, well, 1 foot turns into 2 feet, turns into a couple steps, turns into you stopping your dogs in a full sit front in front of you. Like we've all
Mhm.
seen that with pet dogs. You're healing and you stop, and then the dog's sitting up looking for the cookie, right?
Yeah.
And it's just about something as simple as criteria. Like, no, don't let them pass you. The criteria is don't pass this line, stay aligned with my left leg.
Keep
are
it simple, but keep it clear.
yeah, are down. Like for me with a pet dog, I don't care if they hip roll or anything, but it's elbows to the ground. Like you pick an elbow up, that's
You're
correction.
done. You're
Yeah,
done. Yeah, the double horns. I've been
right.
there.
Yeah. And it's like, so that's another thing, like the pet world translates to the sport world too. Todd, I'm having a lesson, and Todd's telling me, as I'm learning about this sport, I'm a freshman. Like, I don't know anything about Mondioring. I am learning. Um, but we're talking about the absence, and he's like, yeah, it's like I'm a pet trainer first. He's like, it's like the easiest thing to teach a dog, right? You teach dogs to down all the time, but you'll lose all your points if your dog doesn't down. And
Mhm.
guess what? Teams lose all their points because their dogs don't down.
Yeah.
So just understanding like criteria and how to maintain it, because that down is so important for us. And just, one elbow, you're watching it erode right in front of your eyes.
You're literally just like poking at my pain right now. I was in Russia and I was like, oh my gosh, she could do this. And she lifted an elbow, double horn, and I'm like, it's over. It's over. Cause we took fourth place, but if I had the down, it wouldn't have been fourth place. Um, just quickly on the down, because it doesn't really relate to pet dog training, but she has an elbow. She's, very activated. So my solution, and I learned this from an obedience, AKC obedience, high level, OCH level person, Kathy Klein, and she told me, teach my dog to put her chin on the ground. So I'm like, down, pray. And she prayed, she put her little chin on the ground because
Mhm.
you can't lift your elbows if your chin's on the ground. So I had to go one step further. But anyway, back to what you were saying about the criteria. For me, walking calmly next to me, the right shoulder, but also being in a calm state of mind. And if you start to become activated, you're no longer doing the exercise. So I'm going to get on you for that.
Mhm.
That would
Yeah. It's such do you know 𝙇𝙤𝙖𝙣𝙤?
no, I don't
She has
think
a
so.
dog. She had a dog named Badger that she retired. He's a pretty well-known dog. Like this dog has no control. Like like if you saw it, it's a spectacle watching them. It's amazing that how many Mondioring threes this dog has. He is totally reckless. Like you could have dropped this dog off in Afghanistan with special forces. Like
Wow.
you're never going to intimidate him off of an object. You're never going to run him with accessories. Like he's a beast. But exercise to exercise, he is just orbiting her. Like no conservation of energy whatsoever. And it's not due to a lack of training. Like 𝙇𝙤𝙖𝙣 is a tier 1 trainer. Um, it's a testament to her that this dog is able to even do that. But like this dog has zero ability to drive channel. He is just turned on for the 45-minute routine.
Hmm.
And maybe, maybe had they known that at an earlier age and, tried some different strategies, it would have changed. But yeah, it caused him to lose lots of points, lots of exercises, blow jumps because he's just like he's gassed out.
Yeah.
You should, if you later go on TikTok and look up Jess, and you'll see her dog. Um, you'll see her dog Badger. I bred to him twice. He's a very impressive dog.
When you say gassed out too, I think that's in Mondioring why we do an exercise like the Littlewood. It's methodical and she's sniffing. There's not any, impact or anything on her body. But like we need to save our energy because it's a 45-minute routine and there's bite work and there's finding the bad guy can take a lot out of them. So we need to conserve energy too. So as we move from exercise to exercise, it's like calm down, reset so that we can save our energy for that bite work at the end.
So I just remembered what I was going to say about that. The way that we go from exercise to stable, calm walk to exercise to stable, calm walk, because
Mhm.
that's how it goes, right? We're like
Yep.
healing. All right, walk to Little Woods. All right, walk to jumping. Okay, walk to bite work. the same type of thing is what I do with pets. So, and I got this from Michael Ellis. Like he puts the dogs in uh, a heightened arousal state and then puts them back into obedience so that they can focus. When they go home, we've simulated that arousal state that they're seeing around squirrels, kids, other dogs, cats, whatever. So I like to get the dogs up, like chasing the ball. Yeah, yeah. Playing with them. Okay, sit, heel,
Turning on
bed,
and off.
sit, good, good. Free. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Hey. Sit, heel, and just channeling that from explosive energy back to calm stability. I just had a private lesson with a client last night. They have this super cute little cattle dog, super manipulative. She'll cute her way out of anything that she wants to
I saw
do.
her on Facebook,
Sh-
your video. Yeah.
I freaking love that dog. But she's super manipulative. Like if you don't know dogs, you don't know what I'm talking about. Like she'll roll over, she'll puppy dog eye. She can get out of anything. Like she's got me for the first like 3 days. I was like, okay, I got your number. I see what you're doing. But so she's very, very energetic and she loves to roll over and jump and be held. Like her reward hierarchy, I would say, is affection more than food or toys. So I'm teaching these people like, hey, like if you pet her too much when you're doing obedience, like if you tell her down and then you go over and say, "Oh, good girl," that's too much, right? Like rewards can cause disobedience. So
Mhm.
too much of that type of reward, the dog's going to roll over onto her back and then she's going to roll back over and get up. That's what happens every time. You're going to go over, you're going to say, "Good girl," and pet her, and she's going to look cute, and then she's going to get up without you telling her. So I tell them, okay, I teach them how to pet their dog. Okay, like when she's in a down, don't let her roll over, first of all, because I know that's the precursor to all the other disobedience, which is something you have to, again, I learned through sport, like watching uh, what has led up to the disobedience. Like everything that happened before plays a role in it. So anyway, she's
Mhm.
rolling over. I'm like, we can't have her rolling over in a down anymore. Like she's not allowed to do that. Criteria. Like you lay down, you do not roll over on your back and offer these. Some may say it's submission. It's not. It's straight manipulation. Like this dog knows how to get out of doing things. So, but since she loves it, and like, I don't want to not pet the dog when she rolls over on her back. I don't want to not hold her. I love this dog. I love petting her belly. I love having her jump in my lap and stuff. It's also a huge reward to her. So we're going to steal it. We're not going to give it to her all the time. We're going to use it to our advantage. It's not like I'm going to tell these people, "Hey, you can never do that to your dog again." There's a time and a place for it, and it's only when you're going to ask for it. So it's the same type of thing of that channeling that energy. Like this dog, you have to be very calm. Heel, good, little pet, down, good, little pet. Anything more than that, she's going to freak out. She's going to roll over on her belly. She's going to start wiggle butting and jumping 6 feet in the air. So, what we've been doing with that obedience is kind of like what we've been talking about with the Mondioring, like going exercise to exercise. We're doing the same thing. We're doing a long heel. We're taking her to the bed, freeing her, taking her to the bed, freeing her, long heel. Okay, now say free and do all the goofy stuff you want to. Tell her she can jump on you, get on the ground, scratch her belly, and then get back up, heel, and go right back into the work. It's not,
Nice.
it's no different than what we do in Mondioring. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, it is, but not really, not training wise.
That is an awesome story, and I can see that dog in my mind because you shared some pictures of her on your Facebook. So, yeah, I could see that. We have a dog like that here at the kennel I'm helping with my friend, and yeah, same thing. same thing, manipulative little cutie. And you touch her and she's just activated. So I love that story. I wanted to shift a bit and talk about another impactful training technique I learned from Mondioring that I implement in my pet dog training. And that's when I saw how quickly my dog was learning because we do bite work. So I would put her through her paces of like all the Mondioring obedience and everything. When we ended with bite work, we always led up to bite work. And I might be wrong, but I think that whenever we have something very emotional happen, whether it be good or bad, it becomes a very memorable experience. So, as an example, I can remember exactly what I was doing when I heard about 9/11. It
Mhm.
was a very negative emotion, emotional day, but I remember everything I did that day. It's crazy, but I can't even remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Mhm.
So I think that as we teach a pet dog, um, we can help it remember things better and retain the information we've taught it instead of put it in his crate and let him sit on that and hopefully, he'll remember it better.
Mm.
Take him swimming, play frisbee, um, do find out what he really digs and do that. And then hopefully he'll retain this part that you taught him leading up to that fun play.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a puzzle finding what that is for some of the
Mm,
pet dogs.
yeah.
It is. But no, you're absolutely right. Memories come through emotions big time, good or bad. So yeah, finding that motivator for the dog, what that is monumental. Um, I also do the same the other direction, right? There's um sometimes when dogs come to us, it's our job to correct them as well. It's easier to find what motivates them with food, toys, running, sniffing. That's easier to find what motivates them. What's harder to find is what a motivational correction can be for that dog to move that needle forward quickly, right? And this is a little bit taboo. People don't like to talk about corrections. I don't mind, right? I don't mind talking about it. I'm blunt too. I'm very blunt and transparent with how I do things. I'm not a dictator, right? I'm not some punitive dog trainer, but there's also going to be like if for the right dog, there's going to be a life altering experience for you if you come to train with me. If you're chasing cars, like I'm going to correct you so you'll never want to chase a car again. Like if I do not have kids, but if I had to spank my child, I'd only want to do it once, right?
Mhm.
And so creating that memorable experience and that aversive one time can be so effective. And we learn that in sport too, right? Um, and it can be like even dealing with a behavior modification case, right? That has been sport has been very helpful dealing with aggressive dogs because we train aggressive dogs in Mondioring, but
Mhm.
controlled aggression, right? Like not as a human bite case like I get all the time. Um, so yeah, memories and emotions are crazy because of those experiences can create such big emotions. Like so I have a lot of friends that went through that are like in special operations, right? Before in my past life. And these guys, they can tell you like same thing, right? They can't tell you about like what they did all week at work or what mission they went on, but you know what they can tell you? They can tell you what selection was like, right? When they went through that SEER training or that special forces training, right? It wasn't all good. It wasn't all good. It was hard. It was super hard. But these dudes can remember every single little detail of it. like this very, very hard regimented training, extreme highs, extreme lows, and everything in between. But what came out of that? What came out of that difficult block of training with the good, with the highs and the lows? Like these high functioning operators, these very skilled individuals. Um, so that's a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, you're right. Find what motivates the dog either way, reinforcement or punishment. As a trainer, as a pet trainer, it's my job to find both. And
Right.
I have trainers that work for me or have come to learn from me. And one thing that I wasn't taught um, is that, like, at least it wasn't an emphasis on how I was taught, is that it's your job to teach the dog what no means also. Because I've gone the way, way, way other direction too, where we're so consistent with telling the dogs yes. Everybody is, even with my personal sport dog. I'm Johnny on the spot when I say yes. Yes. Oh, I got to get him his food. Yes, I got to give him his ball. I have to remain consistent. You
Yep.
know how many times I haven't been consistent with yes? Very, very few.
Right.
Very few. You know how many times I've been inconsistent with no? I can tell you, no, hey, the correction doesn't always follow the marker with no, with everybody, pet trainers or sport trainers, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I've just been really kind of down that journey too, with like consistency and the again, I think trust is reliability. It can't just be just yes. The reliability has to come from accountability too. Like you have to know that I'm not going to lie to you even when I say no. Like if I say no, you did something wrong and it's a math equation. Like 1 + 1 = 2. If I say no, it equals something. It can't just be like, one day 1 + 1 is 2 and then another day
Hmm.
1 + 1 is 0. I don't know.
I think that when you get into Mondioring and when you start to think about exactly what you were just talking about, it like hurts my heart when I see an owner say yes, 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 but they don't reward. And it's like, no. And that's what I really start teaching is to be consistent about that. Yes, don't lie to the dog. You can release them without, if you don't have a food on you or a toy, then don't say it. So yeah, that one, it's personal for me. Once I started monitoring, I took that so seriously because I knew, you're lying to the little guy.
And it's the same thing with no also. You don't
Hmm.
have to say it. I'm not saying say no to your dog all this time. There's other ways to get what you want and to get the training done. Do it again. Withhold, right? Cool. Let it go. You don't have to always say no. You don't always have to say no and give a correction, right? There's many other things that you can do before that. But if you say yes, you have to give a
You have
reward.
to.
And if you say no, you have to give a correction. So use those words appropriately and know that they're a contract.
Contract. Yeah. I like that. Um, Trying to think of something else that I learned from Mondio Ring that um I I consider in my pet dog training. Um, I know for the retrieve, I'm like, oh, we're practicing our retrieve. We're practicing our retrieve. I would say to people, I'm practicing my retrieve. And they're like, why do you have to practice your retrieve? It's a Malinois. You know she's going to retrieve it. But in Monyo Ring, it's very specific. They can be munching on the retrieve and playing with it. So it's a state of mind again where it's more obedience than fun for that
Mhm,
retrieve. So
mhm.
that was something that I find a lot of people like, why didn't you practice a retrieve? And Malinois, she's going to go get it, bring it back. I'm like, yeah,
Man, the retrieve is hard for me.
yeah.
Hard. This guy is doing really well with it, but I like want I want my Mondio dog to have like an IGP retrieve
Yeah.
on anything, you know.
Yep.
That's what I
Could be
envision.
anything.
But I mean the handler absence, the down, there you go. That's like so applicable to pet training. If
Yeah.
you can teach
Yeah.
the absence down, you can teach a pet dog how to down. You know, it's the same thing. We're gonna roll balls around, we're gonna ride around on a tricycle, we're gonna honk horns and clap our hands, and the dog stays down, and you're like, hey, good job. It's no different.
Yep. Definitely. I think I wrote one down here that really taught me a lot about how smart these freaking dogs are, and that's object guard and how they can learn. I don't even know. It's just amazing, but they learn the perimeter around the object.
Mhm.
And that is so impressive to me because then it rolls out of the circle and I no longer have the visual of where the perimeter is at 2 meters, I think. But the decoy and the dog are so in sync with that, and they don't need the drawn circle on the ground. And how that carried over into pet dog training, like how does object guard carry over to pet dog training? It really showed me that when I have like a 6-foot leash and I let my dog sniff and explore, but I don't want him like pulling me on it, he can learn that 6-foot perimeter around me. Flirty's super clear on that. I let the line out and she knows to just walk right at like that end threshold without putting pressure on it. Like she knows that perimeter around me, super clear.
Mhm. So the way that I correlate that one for pets for me is like rattlesnake aversion or alligator aversion, right? Like there's this thing, and it's kind of like it's the same concept of training, right? Except the decoy's getting close to you and you bite the decoy versus now there's a rattlesnake as the object. First, we're gonna let you get close to the rattlesnake, right? And see what it is, and then boom, you're going to get an aversive to it. And then you're going to get an aversive to it within a perimeter, right? So if you even go within your 3 meter mark, that
Mm,
snake just bit you. And that's
yeah.
pretty much an object guard. You know, same concept. We're talking about
Yep.
like perimeter training, basically.
Yep.
The send out, go to your bed.
Oh, yeah.
If you can teach a send out, you can
Good
teach a dog
point.
to go to their bed. And you know how fast you can get like distance. And we're looking for precision and distance, like straight, fast, fast there, fast back. If you can do that to a sporting level, how far can you get that dog to run to a Kuranda bed in 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Challenge yourself one time. Like I don't do it. I haven't done it in a long time, but you know, when the weather gets better, now I kind of want to see how far can I get that dog to run out to that Kuranda bed in 4 weeks.
Cool.
I bet you can get pretty far.
Uh, for my send away, I love using cheese in a can, and I would put a marker on the fence and put cheese on it for a puppy, and, it sticks really well.
Mhm.
I was using that before I even got into Mondioring. I would send my dog out to something, and I would get him to stick to it by, like, eating the cheese in a can.
Some people use cat food.
Oh, yuck. Yeah.
I
I
know.
think the cheese in a can would be a little less messy and easier, and I can put it in my pouch and pull it out and put the
Mhm.
cheese on the fence or whatever it might be on the target. But yeah, you could use the cheese, squirt it on the dog bed and start to, get distance and teach a send away that way. I like that challenge. Maybe people should do like, how they do like the challenges on TikTok and stuff,
Mhm.
dump a bucket of water on somebody's head or whatever. But yeah, maybe we should do some freaking send away challenges with all sorts of dogs because, yeah, you're right. It can be amazingly cool how far you can send a dog to get to their bed.
Mhm.
It's cool.
Yeah. So like even with that, now what I do with the bed is in my facility, like I start pattern training. That's another something that you learn in sport, right? Like patterns and predictability. Like IGP was built on it, right? French ring, it's all patterns, it's all patterns. And the dogs are so precise is because they do pattern training. Like if you see an IGP dog, like they come super fast, super straight for that sleeve because it's like always at the same place. I do tons of pattern training with pets, especially behavior modifications. I do lots of pattern training. I just make the pattern a little bit more elaborate, just like if a dog was searching for IGP blinds, right? They get built further and further and further, and you built the pattern. I do the same thing for pets. The pattern just gets a little bit bigger and a little bit more complex. So, starting with the bed, I just go like a send out. We're working very linear. I tell the dog to go, free, back up a little further, go, free, back up a little further. And then I start teaching them just from north, south, east, west how to find the bed. And then we start to try to confuse them where I say bed and my trainers are like whipping pool noodles and they have to like go and find the bed through that. Sure. So pattern training is exactly what it sounds like. It's a pattern of behavior that we're teaching the dog over and over and over. And then with the patterns, we use a progressive elaboration where they say it's say healing. We go 100 paces, turn right for 100 paces, and turn right for another 100 paces. So that would be your pattern. And then as training goes, you add extra paces. So now instead of 100 paces, it's 105 and then 110, right? And you build this pattern to be more and more elaborate. And the dog picks up on the pattern very, very quickly. And they can perform these behaviors to a very high level because of memory and pattern training.
And so and how it relates to what we talked about teaching go to your dog bed, maybe share some actionable tips on training patterns around that.
Sure. So correlates to what we were saying with the send out too, how you can get further and further back. I work on a straight line to the bed. So it's me and the bed is directly in front of me. I start at a very short distance, go to your bed, yes, and reward them back to me. I take 2 steps further backwards, go to your bed, yes, and reward them back to me. Take 2 steps backwards, go to your bed, and slowly through the pattern, that from me to the bed gets further and further and further and further and further away. And that becomes a pattern. And then, as I was saying, we elaborate, we use progressive elaboration to make it more complex. Then I may stand to the left of the bed and do the same thing, right? I'm on a different side. The dog is facing a different direction, northeast, southwest. Now say the dog is facing east, and I do the same thing. Change directions. Now the dog is facing south. I do the same thing. Then the dog is facing west. I do the same thing until it becomes this pattern where I can stand on any of the 4 sides of that place bed and I can tell the dog, go to your place at a distance because I've created the pattern of going in each direction of the place at this same distance to going to your bed. So now it's been a pattern that is well understood by the dog. And you can get as creative as you want to. Now hit diagonals, right? Now hit, around a corner to the bed, right? So say I wanted to teach the dog to go around a corner where the bed is unseen, right? So if the dog had to make a right hand turn to get to the bed, I would just build a pattern off of it, right? I'd put the bed right at as soon as the dog turned and saw it, the bed would be right there, right? And I would do the same thing. I would say, go to your bed, I'd pay the dog. Go to your bed, I'd pay the dog. And so the dog would have to go around the corner to get to its bed. And I would just move
Cool.
further back and further back and further back until the dog was flying around that corner going to their bed. And I would build a pattern off of it. And then maybe eventually I would turn around another corner and they'd have to make 2 turns to get to it. I don't know much about gun dogs or bird dogs, but I would imagine that it's kind of a similar type of training, teaching them directionals. Um, so the same thing. So I had this behavior modification case. His name's Punch. My friend Jen owns him. Gnarly Malinois. Like, she went and got this dog from Mohawk Malinois. He's a real one. Like, should be on police force. This dog, I was in the bite suit for probably the first 2 or 3 times. His extreme reactivity, leash reactive, human aggression, dog aggression. Like, this dog is a lot. So I had to start doing pattern training with him. Like, he would blow up as soon as he got into the door. And it took me a little while to say, okay, we can't even walk him in the door now. Like, this has to start maybe even before we get out of the car. So we built this whole pattern before he even walked in the building. Okay. Open the crate, get him out the car, put him back in the crate, get him out the car. So it'd go kennel free, kennel free, kennel free, kennel free, walk around the car, kennel free, kennel free, walk around the car, kennel free, kennel free, walk around the car, walk to the door, turn, walk around the car, kennel free, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how this
Yeah,
is a pattern, right? So I, this will sound like jibber jabber to people, but it's like kennel free, walk around the car, walk to the door, turn, walk around the car, kennel free, walk to the door, make a right. So I'm just building this pattern of behavior. You get in the kennel, you get out of the kennel, you walk around the car. Next piece of it, you do that, you walk towards the building, you go back, you do the same thing. Walk towards the building, go back and do the same thing. Until I get step 1 done, I can't even do anything else. There's no reason to even bring the dog in the building, you know? So we built
absolutely.
this whole pattern, and sometimes our training would, it literally, it'd be like, get him out the car, walk him around the car, put him in the kennel, see you next time. Until we got this whole pattern. And then I'd have to open the facility door, and I'd be like, don't walk in the facility door, walk back to the car, walk around. And we just built this whole uh progression of how to even get this dog in the building. But we had to address it with pattern training. And even when he came in the building, it'd be like, okay, come in the building, make a right hand turn, go back out, walk around the car, kennel in, kennel out. And it was all from pattern training. And like, this dog went from that. I think it was the 3rd time he was here. I recorded the training session. I was in the bite suit. I was sweating. It was terrible. It was horrible. And this girl, she didn't know me very well. We're outside of my training center, and I'm crying and she's crying. And I'm like, Jen, we got to do something. We got to figure something else out. This isn't working. And it was tough. It was like, that was very, very hard 3rd lesson for somebody that I just met, right? This girl, like, stuck with it, stuck with me, trusted me. We figured all this out through pattern training. That dog, if you go on my social media, his name's Punch, her name's Jen McFarland. We got him doing the whole Mondioring routine. He's doing jumps, he's doing healing, he's doing position changes, he's doing bite work with me. Now, he will never be a sport dog because he will nuke a judge. He's still who he is. But we took that dog from that to this with pattern training. Pattern
Cool.
training.
That's cool.
Mhm.
Wow. Have you know how in Mondioring we prep the dog for an exercise? Uh, I'm sure Todd and you do that as well. As we come up to, you're going to do the retrieve now, buddy. Like, retrieving, and then we come
Mhm.
up, and then the dog's kind of like, all right, I know what we're doing. We're doing the send away, send away, so they know what they're moving into next. I've never really used that prep in pet dog training. I just am like, I guess in certain environments, like if you're in the house, you're calm. If you're at the pool, you're activated. But I feel like that prep training, you're activating a certain mindset, like chill out, get excited. We're doing bite work. And I like that prep, but I've never really thought about using it in pet dog training. Have you incorporated it in any way?
Um, like, I maybe inadvertently, there's been like rituals created we didn't think about, but the only way I could really see it is like equipment going on. Like equipment goes on means we're doing something, right? Uh, like that's the only real way I do it with pet dog training, honestly,
Yeah,
is
me
like
too.
conditioning the e-collar or the prong collar. It's like prong collar comes out, yeah, food, buddy. Prong collar comes out, yeah, food, buddy. Right? It's not like prong collar comes out, now you're gonna have to like get corrected or go like lay on your bed, right? But equipment means good stuff,
Yeah,
right? And it's the same thing we do with the sport dogs. But I don't, unless it's a owner who's like interested in dog training or wants like that dog that does more advanced things, then absolutely. Then I'll teach them like, okay, this is how we're gonna start cueing engagement. Are you ready? It happens, all done, it stops.
yeah,
Um, so I have used that with like this girl, Jen, we had to teach her engagement. She's freaking awesome. I mean, awesome. Like, I'm like, hey, Jen, you need this. The next day, she's got a training vest on, right? She comes with her training vest. Hey, Jen, you need this ball. Hey, Jen, his equipment goes on, your vest goes on. Like, with her, we did all of that, you know?
cool.
I guess with service dogs, not really pet training, but
Mm,
the vest becomes contextual for sure. It's
yeah,
your uniform, you behave.
definitely.
Uh, like I have Malinois, who's a service dog. She's also my demo dog, so she like bites equipment for breed fulfillment. She's not like a real dog, she's a pet that bites equipment. But like she's a fun, energetic Malinois. When you put her vest on, she's walking through the airport flat. She's not excited, she's not aroused, her tail isn't going a million miles an hour. Like as soon as the vest goes on, even in the car, she gets in the car, boom, she lays right down. As soon as the vest goes on, it's totally contextual to like
Yep.
a state of mind for sure.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Awesome. Is there anything else? Because I can't believe we're at the top of an hour already. Is there anything else that you can think of in Mondio Ring that we might want to share today and how it correlates into our pet dog training or service dog work or such?
I think like a big thing with Mondioring or any sport really is just like opposite behaviors. Like everything in dog training is you can really create a well-rounded dog that really understands things by just teaching opposite behaviors. It's all go and come, right? Like go to your bed, come to me. If you can teach a go to your bed, you can teach a come to me. It's the same thing, right? If you can teach a sit, you can teach a down. Um, you know, I think that yeah, just teaching dogs like opposite behaviors. Like some things are go away from me, some things are come to me, and then balancing it out. If you have a dog that's a little bit aloof and is more independent and a pet that goes away from you, then work on doing a lot of reinforcement things on you. The go away will always be there because it's your dog's personality. Like an independent dog, I'm going to spend less time teaching independence. I'm going to spend a lot more time teaching recall and teaching heal and making the value be more about me than something else, and vice versa. If you have a dog that's very codependent and maybe a little bit fearful and lacking confidence, well, you probably don't want to spend as much time reinforcing behaviors with you and on you, because it could be creating some of that unhealthy codependency, separation anxiety. For a dog like that, maybe you want to do the opposite and teach them to go away from you. Go away from me. Go to your bed. Go explore. Go sniff and do some tracking. Go get that ball that I threw. Go away from me. And we see that in Mondio Ring too, like the balance with the sendaways, right? Like, I don't want to tell my dog go. And he's like,
Yep.
looking back at me as he's going like, "Oh, okay, buddy, I'm not gonna reward you on me for a while," you
Yeah.
know? So, man, there's so many things. We could
I
spend
know.
hours just coming up with things.
I think you hit on something big though. Like for me, my dog is kind of like a wild one. She has a lot of energy. And so there were certain exercises maybe we all do in Mondioring, like the long down. I would never be like over here and be like, you can break. I will always go back to her, get in position, just like in trial, and then
Hmm.
release her. But there would never be an instant where she would be in a stationary position like that. And I'd be like, come, because I need to reinforce, like, this is where you get paid. This, you never actually get up from here while I'm
Hmm.
over there. I
Yep.
always come back to you. So maybe in pet dog training, if you had a dog that doesn't hold their place very often, if you're practicing come or, break, and you're making that part, like you said, making this part the fun part, maybe back up a little bit and make the place the fun part and just go up to your dog and make the release kind of boring. Like, you can
Uh,
break. Good job, buddy.
right. Yep. Actually, that's exactly what we do with our downs with pets. Pets never get recalled from downs. Never. It's always return to your dog. It's a safety feature. And actually,
Yeah.
like in like the Tar Heel Canine training manual, it like teaches you from like your pet training that it's because it's very sport derivative too. Like Tar Heel was created from PSA, right? From Jerry Bradshaw. It's the same thing though, but like dog goes into a down, return to the dog, or they're going to anticipate getting up and going and breaking that down. Most of the behaviors in pet training, most of them are going to be stability. Like,
Mhm.
I don't really have dogs flying off the place bed. I don't really have dogs flying out of the sit or the down. Very little do I do that in training. And then when I start teaching recall, I don't do any of the other stuff, right? I do a lot of distracted recalls so that they're not. Have you ever seen like when if you're working on a bunch of stability, like my dogs, if I try to recall them off the bed, they're like,
Mhm.
are you trying to trick me? Right? Like I have to
Yeah.
put the beds away. Like I can't do
Yeah.
downs and then recall because the dog's like, no, I'm staying in the down. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
So
It's a good, it's a happy problem
yeah,
because
champagne
they're
problems,
committed.
right?
Yeah.
But but that also does create sometimes problems with the recall.
Hmm.
Now you're like, now the dog just wants to lay there or, lay on the bed. So I have to pick those things up and I work on recall outside of those, you know, outside of
Yeah.
those other things because I don't teach owners to recall their dogs off the place bed. I don't teach owners to recall their dogs from downs. It's always go get your dog.
Because the owners can be a big part of that problem too, because they're like, this is the fun part. I'm going to put him on his bed. I'm going to walk away and I'm going to call him every single freaking time. And we're like, no. And they're like, see how great we are? We're like, no, we don't.
Yeah. Like just leave him there, please.
Leave him there. Yeah. So I like just not even showing the owner that. That's like not something we want to reinforce the owner for.
But so in pet training too, you do use a lot of the terminal marker, right? Yes to me, right? I teach pet dogs that too. Yes means you can come get food, good means you stay. I teach them terminal and continuation markers. But when I first start teaching a behavior for, I would say most of the dogs, I do terminal, right? Like bed, yes, bed, yes, bed, yes. But once I have predictability, I go into continuation very quickly. I like to maybe I'll go back to some terminal markers if I'm losing some of the oomph, some of the speed, because that's what those terminal markers do. They create that emotion, they create the drive, they create the speed, they create the energy, right? So maybe if a dog's slowing down, then I might go back to bed,
Mhm.
yes, bed, good, good, good. And again, it just goes back to what we were talking about with Millie. Like it's the same thing, right? Like you can get fast, fast, fast. Now chill. You can jump on me and play. Now heel.
Mhm. With my pet dog markers, I had trouble when I first, I was like, Mondioring's awesome, the good and the yes. And trying to explain that the dog comes and gets the reward. Yes, food. They were like, but then I free him. You can break free. They were like, I don't understand. So it's kind of the same thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So what I did for my pet dog people, I just used one marker for the positive, like a clicker.
Hmm.
So would just be like, click, go up and reward them on the bed. They come, click, reward them with the food. But we just simplified it and we just said yes,
Hmm.
um, instead of the clicker because ain't nobody got enough hands for all of the things.
Right.
So say yes and then bring them the food. But maybe the tonality might be different. Like, yes, if it's something here versus there, be calm, yes, yes, and bring them the food. But that's what I did because I found that my pet dog clients, it was a lot. And I'm sure you've seen that before.
Oh, I agree. And so as the trainer, I know a ton of people that do the same thing, and you're totally
Okay.
right. Like as a trainer, I do it because of I know it's creating clarity when I'm training the dog, but I also know when they go home, they're going to be saying yes and bringing the treat to the dog and whatever, right? But I just tell them like, listen, if you say yes and the dog gets up, like I taught them to do that. They're not being bad. So if you say yes and they get up, this is why. But I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Some people really take to it, and some people it's just another thing to
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. Um, so we are definitely into a good hour here. This has been such a fun conversation. Is there anything else you'd like to share, Travis?
No, this was awesome. Thanks for having me on. I feel like I just ramble and I don't know why
No.
you would want to listen to me.
Well, I like to listen. I like to talk about Mondioring. It's been a while. So Flirty's been retired. She's 10 years old now, so she's been retired for a while. So yeah,
Are
this
you
was
gonna do it again? Are you gonna get another dog? Do you think you'll
um
continue?
well, I did have where I got bit by her, and that kind of made Mondioring a little scary for me. Um, I don't know. I'm not like bro, like I'm kind of a sissy. So I worry about my dog. Her teeth are all worn down and she's a fast dog. So when she hits the decoy, she's small, she could get hurt. So you hear what I'm saying? I'm a wuss. And it
No,
takes it takes grit.
yeah, it does. It does.
y- Yeah, both ends for the handler and for the dog. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I love it, but yeah, I don't know. It's a risky game, and I think with Malinois, if it's not risky, it's not fun. So I love that for her.
Yeah. I have the puppy I have now, man, he's from what I've seen, he's a year old now and he is like the one. And I definitely treat him differently than I've treated any of my other dogs. He's a working dog, like I treat him like a working dog. And I think that for people that don't know or in the pet world and they hear that, maybe that sounds cold or something. But for me, it's actually a deeper form of love and admiration for what this dog is because he is a working dog. So I definitely mold and shape who he is very differently. He is a tough dog. He is going to be a tough dog. He lives in a kennel. He does work. Not that he doesn't come home. He does come home. He does have a house life. He does do all of that stuff, but the balance to that is very different than any other dog I've had. I want a working dog. I don't want a pet that bites. I have a pet that bites. She's great. I love her. She cuddles in bed with me, but for him, he's I'm being very methodical and thoughtful about everything that I do with him. I don't want a dog that I take to a kennel and they get nervous and spin because they've never been conditioned how to be calm in a kennel. Like he goes down here with all the pet dogs and I've taught him how to chill on his bed no matter what they're doing. He doesn't rush the gate. He doesn't come out of the gate when I open it. When I open the guillotine door, he doesn't fly out. He goes out when I tell him. When I open the guillotine door, he doesn't come flying in. He comes in when I tell him. I'm like very, very, very thoughtful about everything that I'm doing with this dog. You know, first huge
Yeah.
snowstorm, like it's a blizzard outside. We're putting on all of our stuff and we're going out and we're going to train, like fun train. Like my dog is going to be very hardy to the weather, the
Yep.
rain, the snow. Um, yeah, he's got pet insurance because, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm also doing a lot of more like, I'm way more into canine husbandry than I was too. Like he brushes his teeth, I do his nails, he gets brushed, he gets groomed. Like I don't know. I just love him. He's
He's
I've
a
put
good Yeah, he sounds perfect. That's how I saw Flirty. And when I was like, what sport do I want to do with this dog? Because I've had great dogs before and I was a young trainer and I'm like, I'm going to learn all of the sports. But I had this dog that could have gone all the way in hunting. But I was like, fly ball, dock dogs, everything, AKC, rally, everything. And it spread too thin. So when I got Flirty, I was like, I am going all the way to the world level with this dog. Which sport's it going to be? And I learned early on, even though I showed her water and dock diving because it's hot and I want her to cool off and I want her to be confident. And she started to get too cracked out. And I didn't like seeing her like that because she's my prospect for my world dog. And so I actually stopped doing dock diving with her early on because I'm like, it's not good when you're that crazy. We need to channel that and be more focused, because, yeah,
Mhm.
I don't like seeing her like that. She's so hard to control around water, and I was like, "This hurts me because I feel like it's gonna hurt my Mondioring plans for her." So I got very specific, sounds like with you, where I
Mhm.
was like, "I'm not gonna do these fun things, but because I really wanna go all in on this fun thing."
It's a like it's a balance. So I know I said like I'm going to be very stringent and follow the program with
Mhm.
what Todd is telling me to do. I and I am. I do everything methodically to what he says to do. But there's also like these parts of me where I'm like, this dog is like he is going to be my showpiece. He's like my masterpiece. This is going to be the best dog that I've ever trained, right? And so I do have to ask Todd, hey, is it okay if I do this or do that?
Yeah.
Um, is it going to hurt? Is it going to help? Because there are all these other things I want my dog to do. I want him to do hard surface tracking, right? Like I want him to do urban tracking. I have like this guy Eric Good who teaches it, and I want my dog to do that. But I don't want him to do it if it's going to mess up Mondio Ring.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
want my dog to do like orbits and weaves and all of that stuff, right? I want to be able to show all the cool parlor tricks and the sit pretties, And then Todd's like, yeah, until you tell him to, couche and he goes into a sit pretty and you're changing positions. And I'm like, ugh,
Yep,
you
yep, yep,
know,
yep, yep.
you know,
Definitely. I even didn't teach Flirty to go to her place because she can move her feet when she's on her place. She can stand up, she could sit down, she can do what she wants, but I wanted to make sure that it was very specific, and if I put you in a position, you didn't move your feet.
uh,
So, she really I mean, she learned place probably when she was 8 years old because I was like, "I don't really need it around the house, she's just a good girl." But yeah, that was something else that I guess I sacrificed, but wasn't a big deal.
mhm. like, there's another thing I'd never done with a dog I'm doing with him. So the very first time I ever put him on a treadmill, he walks backwards on it. I never even showed him how to walk forward. He walks backwards on the first time I put him on a treadmill, it's walk backwards. And now he walks backwards on the treadmill. So so what I did now, I have Kayla on the leash and I can move away from him so he can just go backwards, 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 and I can get further from him. And then I had Kayla starting to get further back on the leash too. So she's far back behind him, I'm far in front of him, and he's just like walking backwards, walking backwards. And actually did it in mind for positions, right? Like,
Yeah, I got you.
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I saw with the dogs that I washed, we had done that at Todd's, but without the precision,
Mhm.
right? Not to say like there's no precision in the training that happens at club or in my lessons, but like it's not on a treadmill on a straight line, like making sure this looks good too. So I'd washed other dogs that I know, hey, we're putting on a back line and Todd's going to have me feed and have this dog walk backwards for position. So for him, the very first time I put him on a
Wow.
treadmill, I'm like, you're walking backwards. And I think it's just great mental stimulation. I think it's
Good
awesome. Like,
exercise.
yeah. And he's just like,
Okay, I
he's,
gotta see a video of that, please, because I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but I totally get it. When I just want to share too in real life, when we were in Poland, the level 3 positions was on a hill. So the dog, is like trying to back up on the hill and hold
mm,
position because, the just the physics is pulling them
mhm,
forward and their rear is
mm,
up on that hill. So we had never seen that before. We'd never
mm.
really trained it.
I'm glad
And
you
so
just told me that.
we had to go around in Poland, drive around and try and find ditches because, or hills, and because we had never really trained for that. And, all of the dogs on the US team, Patty, Jean, like all of the dogs did fantastic with the positions on the hill. I think we overthought it like we
Mhm,
always do in Mondio Ring. We
mhm,
overtrain it, but
mhm,
that was creative.
mhm. Yeah. Well, so what I also started doing is like now when he's doing it, he's walking backwards. Now I also have I put the roll behind me and I like release him. I'm like, get it. And he'll fly off and run between my legs to get it. So he'll be walking backwards and then I'll release him forwards. My friend, I got it from my friend. His dog will flip positions while the treadmill's going.
Wow.
So he'll tell him backwards and the dog will turn and start walking backwards on it.
That's cool because the treadmill is so freaking boring.
Hmm.
I love that because Flirty
Teach him
gets
to,
on it and she's like, "This is so boring. Can you speed it up?" And then she's like, "Okay, this is good," but she's still trying to kind of maybe nibble on the side things, like, "Can I bite something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is boring." I like doing something fun with it.
yeah, try teach her to walk backwards on it. See if you can. It's not
Okay.
like, you can. It's not super difficult, but I wanted this dog, like, we're going to do the most difficult one first.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can walk backwards, you'll be able to walk forwards.
Yeah. No, I think I might struggle with it. It's just like teaching a dog to walk on my right side. Like my body has been, muscle memory of teaching a dog and
Hmm.
rewarding a dog and everything from the left for 33 years. That whenever I have to teach a dog on the right for a certain client, maybe, they're paralyzed on one side and this is what we're doing. And it's like, it's so awkward. I suck at it's like I'm not even a dog trainer.
Yeah, you're familiar with the Napopo school, right? Like
Yes.
Bart
Bart.
Bellin.
Oh
So
yeah.
they're very big on like opposite behaviors. And all Napopo really is Belgian derivative training, right?
Mhm.
It's just Belgian dog training. Well, what it really connected pieces for me, like with these opposite behaviors and teaching dogs to do everything in opposite. So with him, left side healing, right side healing, in focus both ways, contact both ways, walking between my legs forward, walking between my legs backwards, healing backwards, healing forwards, both directions. Like you can be facing behind me and we walk backwards. Like I'm trying to get him to do everything in opposites. So whistle, but come back by my left leg, whistle, come back by my right leg.
Wow.
Like I don't want any choice paralysis to happen because Kayla's dog, Melee, like a judge will put you up against a wall where the dog can't get by your left
This is
leg.
so true.
And he did it. And like Melee is like, I can't get to the center of your leg. And it's like, yo, the right leg's wide open. Like just come around this one. So,
Wow.
so for him, I'm super obsessed with, okay, you can walk backwards on a treadmill, you can walk forwards. Like, how can I get you to do it the other direction? Uh,
Yeah.
you should interview Kashi. Um, I'll butcher his last name.
Okay.
He's this Indian dog trainer. Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll send you the link to his profile. Brilliant trainer. He is the king of opposite behaviors.
Oh, I want to see this.
I
Yeah.
mean, like the king. And he's just phenomenal. You should interview him. He's like, I met him through, not through Napopo. I followed him on social media, and when I took a trip to India for decoy work, I hit him up and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be there. If there's any chance we could meet, I would
Wow.
love to meet you in person." And he was like, "Oh no, I'm going to be at the PSA trial. Like, I'll see you there."
Cool.
And I met him in India, and it just like evolved into this friendship. He's been to the States a few times, but when I tell you this guy is brilliant, he is brilliant in dog training.
I would love to
Um,
talk to him.
we do the dopamine box, like we're learning how to do the dopamine box. I really like that. I use it for, I'm using it for Jax too, my Mondioring dog. I use it for like accessories and the e-collar to start that stuff out. But so
Great.
Kashi's asking me this question. He's like, okay, so say you have your dog in a Skinner box and um you have a dopamine box in there and you can only free shape, right? You can only free shape. You can only use positive reinforcement. That's your only tool here to get the dog to go in the box, right? He's like, how, so the dog's not going in the box. What do you do? And I'm like, wait. And he's like, okay, well, that doesn't work. What do you do next? Like, you can only use free shaping to get this dog's head in the box. And I'm like, shrink the room, shrink the Skinner box, right? Shrink it down. So he only has one direction and I can start free shaping it. No, you're not allowed to do that. What would you do? Right. So he's just giving me all these like traits. He's like, no, you're not allowed to shrink the room. Right. It has to stay the same size with the box in it. And so I'm just like trying to go through all of these things and figure it out. And he's like, well, how many directions are there? And I said, he's like, there's four. There's north, east, south, and west, right? And he's like, why don't you just add three more dopamine boxes? And like, so now, right? So now you have any option that the dog turns, you can click and reward. So just things like
Wow.
that. We would
Yeah.
have these conversations, and he just comes up with like creative solutions and like all the things I were saying, they weren't wrong, but he was trying to get me to think about like, you can
Yeah.
fill the room more to make it smaller to get what you want also. You don't have to shrink the room, you can add more to the room to get what you want. So one day I'm talking to him about the dopamine box. I'm like, hey, Kashi, well, have you ever had the dopamine box turned upside down where the dog had to go put its head up in it? And he like sends me a video as soon as I said, he's like, done
Of
it.
course.
I'll send you a link to this guy. He is,
Please.
you will love him. You'll love him, like the nicest person in the world.
Please, yeah, that would be great. And then if anyone is curious about the dopamine box, I did have Jessica Koch from Professional Canine on recently, and she talks about the dopamine box, and Travis and Jessica spoke together at the conference. I don't think you guys had even met, and you were teaching together on the dopamine box.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. It takes a long time to use, to do it right.
I can
But
imagine.
you can do some really, really cool things with it. Like my cousin's Dutch Shepherd, like you would like a bomb could go off and this dog will not come out of the dopamine box. What's interesting, like I'll go off on a tangent again. The dopamine box can also correlate with the object guard because in the dopamine box, if you look at it from a trainer standpoint, you're also creating some resource guarding. As a matter of fact,
Mm,
with and same thing with the object guard. Like, what are we doing? A little bit of resource guarding. Like, don't touch this thing. Don't
yeah.
take it away from me. And with a certain dog with a certain personality type, like the dog can be intense, right? Like it may be hard to get that dog off the object without getting bit sometimes. Same thing with the dopamine box. Like it's great for a lot of things, it can help with some resource guarding, but you can also create resource guarding, right? And in like sport dogs, we kind of want, well, we call it possession. What is possession? It's kind of resource guarding. So the dopamine box, like his dog, she's not aggressive, but she does guard it, where like we'll put a rope on it and like pull it and she'll like wrap it and like won't let you pull it away from her with her head in it. Like we can clatter stick her. I mean, really clatter stick her. That dog won't go off, won't come off. Like the gun right next, pop, pop, pop. She will not come out. You can pick her up by her flanks. She won't bring her head out of it. She is
Wow.
glued into it, glued. And the other thing with that is the dopamine box is so crazy. So that dog has the best article indication of any dog I've ever met. And it's because I think he trained her so much in that dopamine box that she's already got like this intensive stare that when we taught her an article, that it was like, she's like, cool, I stare at things all day in anticipation of reward. Where it's the same thing. We can like put a fishing string on the article and like pull it across the room and she'll like chase it to get back to the down. But yeah.
Yeah, it's something to think about. I'd be curious to see what Todd would say about incorporating dopamine box technique into the object guard, because that would be probably outside of something that he's done. So I'd be curious to see what his take on it would be.
I talked to him about it. He's not he's kind of the same. He'll be like, oh, that's just Belgian training, but yeah, I asked him about like using the treat and train for the send out. He's like, yeah, do that. Great,
Yeah,
use it. Um, he's not like, he's a very creative person and
he
outside the
is.
box,
Yeah,
but he'll also be like, but why? Like
yeah,
waste of energy. Just do this. you know,
yep.
like free shaping too. Like I like free shaping. Todd uses free shaping, right? But like one time, so I'm trying to get an operant behavior from Jax, right? He's biting Todd. I'm like, Jax, here, right? And I'm waiting for Jax to go, look at me and mark that behavior. And Todd's like, no, we're not creating an operant behavior. We're creating classical conditioning. I want you to say his name and then be like, here, and like get him to hear that word, follow the response, not an operant behavior. And so like free shaping too. He's like, yeah, free shape a little bit, but you don't want a dog that is so much of a problem solver, like my cousin's Dutchie has been free shaped so much that the dog creates its own problems and own solutions. Like it's never finished, right? You tell the dog to do something, you're like, hey, orbit, and she starts orbiting both directions. Koosh, like
Yeah,
throws every single free shaped behavior she has because like everything pays. Anything that she did for so long got paid. Like
yeah,
anything she did, he would just free shape everything. So now this dog is like essentially like she free shapes her own things. The dog is brilliant. She's incredible. Like this dog can do so much, but she is a perfect example of how free shaping can have gone too far. Like
yeah,
she's a dog for sure. If you told her if she was in positions, one time you're going to say couche and that dog is going to start spinning in circles or something,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. But I do think that you've hit on something that's really smart is free shape a little bit because I've definitely have judges push us up against the wall and my dog had to figure it out because she couldn't get around me. So having them figure out, hey, I can't enter from this way to go under. I'll go this way. And my dog's pretty good at the search for the bad guy. She will find her way in. She's got a good nose too. But I think that may be something where they're left to figure it out to some degree. And there's some maybe free shaping element there to some degree,
Mhm.
or some figuring out independently of me, helping her because I just stand there. So,
Well, I mean, I essentially like free shaped the search because like it started where I'd go out and I'd just make a little scent pad and put food down. And like again, I just kind of created the search pattern like that until we
smart.
started adding the people to it. And that's just Todd and Tommy showed me how to do that. But I usually do like I'll do a little bit of free shaping as puppies because I want the dogs to have like creativity and like some
Yeah.
ownership of things, like empower them a little bit. And I still use free shaping now. Like if I'm in the training room and my dog sees the dowel that I left out and he ran over and just grabbed it, I'm like, yes, cool. Like I need you to do that anyway. Right. So I'll still capture some things, but um yeah, I'm really big on like these opposite behaviors with him.
In the escort, we're going to be making this two parts because this has gone really long. But I was just thinking in the escort, I mean, it's constant where the dog has to try and stay with the decoy. And the decoy is constantly trying to squish them up against a barrel or a tire or something to try and lose them so that they can get some meters on them. I don't know, but I just thought as we're talking, like, it'd be kinda cool to, like, try and throw, like, a healing exercise where you're up against a wall and the dog is, like, trying to find that default position, like, how we're always kind of as trainers, we're always offering that left-hand side, like, "Here it is, buddy." It's making it too easy, sometimes maybe standing the wrong way so that it's harder. Not that we would ever be calling, like, pet dogs to heel and all that fancy shit, but just a thought that I'm like, "Oh, I wonder how my," because I've never really challenged my dog to, like, find this position if I'm, like, up against a wall. It's just been thrown at me once in a while in a
Mhm.
trial, and I'm like, "Huh, I didn't train for this. I
Mm.
hope for the best."
Well, that's like I see Todd, like I just like watching him train his dog too. Like I like to get there
Yeah,
where I can see what he's doing with his dog
yeah,
because there's nobody like really talking to him or help. I'm just like watching what he's doing. I'm like, "Oh, I need to do that too."
yeah,
Like just just little things I see him do. I'm like, "Oh man, why don't I do that with my dog?" Um, and Tommy. So I'm doing a decoy seminar at Tommy's. I've gone to a few of them, and like he's like that dude is fucking brilliant too. Like as
mhm,
far as not just decoy work, but trainer.
yeah,
As a trainer, his obedience is crazy, and that's why he's such a good decoy because he's not just a decoy. Like, dude is a dog trainer in a bite suit. You know what I mean?
oh, yeah,
In and out of the suit, like incredible trainer. So we're at a seminar and like we all know Mondioring. Okay, the dogs bite here, 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 front of the legs, above knee, below knee, both sides. So we're doing the escort and he's like, yeah, but at some point, he's like, the dog's following him on the side. He's like, you got to teach the dog to bite here too. And like has him tag him on the side. And I'm like, oh man, like
yeah,
so true. But nobody has ever told me that, especially in PSA. Right?
mhm,
And then to show me that too, where he's like, has to walk like this between a fence and whatever else and go to get away from the dog. Like, yeah, why wouldn't we teach the dog to like bite you on the ribs or on the side of your legs too? It's just
yes,
the training in Mondio Ring is infinite
mhm,
to what you can come up with and what you have to think about. Well, I got to teach the dog to do this too. You know? It would have never even it would have never even clicked to me to be like, "Oh, yeah, at some point, I should probably teach my dog how to, like, bite the decoy in the rib cage if he needs to,"
yeah,
you know? Um,
absolutely.
you gotta get down to you should have Tommy on here too.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. Yeah, I've worked with Tommy, so awesome. Okay, well, I will definitely be reaching out to those folks that you mentioned. So maybe just share where folks can find you. And do you have like a club where people can join and participate?
No,
No,
no, we just friends that train together.
got it. Okay.
Um I'm on social media. My personal is Travie Canines on Instagram, Travis Lloyd on Facebook. My business is Ridgeside Canine 𝙎𝙤𝙤. You can find us on social media. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Travis. And thank you, everyone, for listening. It was a unique conversation today, and I really enjoyed it because I normally talk more about the business side of things. This is super fun. So I like both, but obviously I like dog training because that's been my jam for a long
Yeah.
time. So fun, fun, fun. So thank you everybody for listening again. I'm Lianne Shinton. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, please be sure to click the subscribe, follow, like, so that you can stay abridged to any new conversations that are popping up like this. And have a great day.
Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks, Travis.